Hi, welcome to MKHS Academy channel. So in this video we are going to discuss about the bishop movements. So every player will have two bishops. One is white colored square bishop and the other one is black colored square bishop. And as you can see, the bishop will travel only in its own color. Here if it is in white color, it will never move to a black color. Similarly, if bishop is in black color, it will never move to white color. Hence, if you have a white square bishop and if your opponent has a black square bishop, then those two bishops will never attack each other. Now, let's see the bishop in d5, which is a white square bishop. This bishop can go from d5 to a8, like it can go to c6, it can go to b7, it can go to a8, and similarly this bishop can go from d5 to a2, like it can go to c4, it can go to b3, or it can go to a2. Similarly this bishop from d5, it can go to h1, like it can go from d5 to e4, or it can go from d5 to f3, it can go to d5 to g2, or it can go from d5 to h1. Similarly, the bishop on d5, it can go to e6, or it can go to f7, or it can go to g8. So the bishop in one shot, it can travel multiple squares as opposed to pawn. Pawn can go travel only one square at a time, except in the initial square. Like whenever it is an initial square, it can go up to two steps. Once it is moved out of its initial square, it can go only one step at a time. But here the bishop, it can go multiple steps, like in one go it can travel multiple squares. Now let's come to the black bishop, the black colored bishop, which is the black square bishop. So the black square bishop can go to f4, it can go to g3, it can go to h2, and similarly it can go to d4, it can go to c3, it can go to b2, or it can go to a1. And similarly e5 bishop can go to f6, or it can go to g7, or it can go to h8. And here this black square bishop in e5, it can go to d6, it can go to c7, it can go to b8. So at one go, the bishop, in case if there are no pawns or no obstacles or no other pieces in the middle, at one go the bishop can travel 3 plus 4 plus 3 plus 3, which will be 13 squares it can go. Like the 13 combinations a bishop can travel. Okay, now let's move on to how the rook moves. And by chance, like let's say if we have a white pawn on f4, then in that case the bishop cannot go to f4 since it is stopped by its own pawn, and since we have a pawn, the bishop cannot go to g3 or h2. The reason behind this is bishop doesn't has the jumping capability, means it cannot jump from one square to other square if it is blocked by a piece. Similarly, if we have a pawn on d4, it means it cannot go to d4, it cannot go to c3, it cannot go to b2, it cannot go to a1. Similarly, in case if we have pawn on c7, it can go maximum will be d6 because it cannot go to c7 or it cannot go to b8. Okay, the next thing is like let's say in case if you have a white pawn on f6, then this bishop cannot go to f6 or g7 or h1 because it is blocked by its own piece. Like it can be pawn or it can be any piece which is of the same color. In case if we have a different color piece, like if I have black piece, then you can go ahead and capture, depends upon the position. Okay. Now let's move on to the rook. So as opposed to bishop, the rook can travel straight. Means like here we have two rooks. Like one is the black rook and second thing is white rook. And as opposed to bishop, the rook can travel multiple squares. Like this, the rook on d5, it can go to black squares, it can get to white squares. There is no color limitation for the rook. But the only thing is the rook can only travel straight. Here, the rook on d5, it can go to c5 or it can go to b5 or it can go to a5. And similarly, the rook on d5 can go to e5, f5, g5, h5. And another thing is, one thing we have to notice is the rook can travel only on its same rank or same file. Here, since the rook is in d file 5th rank, it can travel either on 5th rank or it can travel on the d file. So if the rook is placed in the middle of the board, this can travel these many squares. Like it can travel 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 3, which will be we can get 14 combinations. Okay, similarly here, if this rook can travel to f7, f8, f5, f4, or let me put arrows. This can go like this can go like this can go like this. But technically, either black rook or white rook should not be placed in f5 because it will get captured by the opponent. Like the opponent can go ahead and capture it unless until it doesn't has any support. Okay, so now the thumb rule of the rook is the rook can go only straight. So it can travel either on the same rank or same file. Yeah, thanks for watching the video. We'll in the next session we'll discuss more about queen and king.